Welcome to the Inferno. Turn the page, let the ink has flame. So we see the light embers in the dark. One spark and they awaken. Welcome to the Inferno. And now so the gate to be fairy. Beside me in the flame, laughing like a wildfire we can't tame. So danger when we go, hold the lights up in the soul now. Welcome to the Inferno. Bring your boys and all of those pages, burn this got your photo, and the sun will steal the show. Welcome to the Inferno. Your eyes is high, no fear below. Heroes standing there and tall, so this is all to stop the moving one trick flow. In silent frames, frozen in time, in bright ashes, drifting in line. But one sparks the universe. Welcome to the Inferno. Adventure calls for really to go. Back to life where the colors flow. Shadows tight, enjoying this show. Welcome to the Inferno. Story in hand with wild dreams go. Turn the page that a dream to blow. Forever burning, feel the overflow. When gain the pain through the flames called me. When love's and locked, but shadow tight. We're starting real. Inferno face meals and it's what you alive. Welcome to the Inferno.
Well, hello and welcome to the Inferno Hot Takes. I'm Toshinori Matarasu, and joined with me today is...
Sharpie Merker. Hey, everybody.
For those of you who participate in the Inferno, you obviously know who I am. You obviously know who Sharpie is. And we're bringing the podcast back. Podcast has been down for, I think, 3 years at this point. It's been 3 years and a week, and I've missed doing the podcast, and this is something that I have a lot of fun doing. The editing part of this is probably the hardest thing, but I really enjoy doing the podcast, talking about this sort of stuff, reading you guys' comments and adding more to the next videos. But I'm going to tell you guys right now that things aren't going to be like how they were. Things are very different. This is going to be much more broad, much more conversational than how it was before. We might be able to take things political, but that's not happening yet. So for those of you who are listening that enjoy the political debate, we're not there yet. We'll have to see where this goes, how many people end up listening. And if you guys turn it political, then we'll get political. But as of now, we're just talking about things anime and tech, from video games to new anime releases and what we think all of those directions should head, where we think anime's going, where it's been, what it came from, who the big three really are, and if the big three should just go ahead and die and let the new gen take over, or if it's a good thing that the new gen's coming back. We've got lots of hot takes for you guys today on every topic that we're talking about, and we're going to roll right into it. So in anime hot takes, I have lots of them. I mean, I consume somewhere around 2,000 hours of anime a year, and that's kind of collaborative between Crunchyroll, the Funimation archives now, which used to be the main streaming platform for it. I also have that Toei animation subscription, High Dive, and of course the few anime that show up on Netflix. Big shout out to Sakamoto Days. And then we have a few that are Prime exclusives, but Prime has been using AI to make anime. How do you feel about that,
Yeah.
Sharpie? How do you feel
I
about
didn't.
AIs moving into making anime?
I think. I think it's misused, but like it shouldn't be used for art or music or anything that really requires creativity, because then you're just pulling away from creative artists. And I mean, like, we technically are creative artists, so maybe we're biased, but
I'd say that's what I see a lot too. I don't think that AI should take over jobs or take jobs away from people. I think that AI should be used to supplement somebody's job or to be a tool that somebody can use to make their workload easier to increase something like production value.
I
And
mean,
maybe this is something that you didn't know, but I do want your opinion on it. There is an anime studio out there called Kaka Technology Studio, and they created an entire anime from start to finish that was all AI. They took an AI model and they force fed this AI model animation and illustrations from their artists over and over and over until the AI model could replicate the style of their artists one to one. And after they did this, they decided to put the AI in a backlog server and just let it go. They just let it cook for days. It's actually been months now, but it did produce an anime from start to finish. And that anime debuts on Crunchyroll and Prime later on this year. The anime is called Twin Tsunami.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild thing. I first caught wind of this, I think it was about 10 months ago. And I started doing some heavy research into it to see what they were doing to see. I just wanted to know if they created a studio that was built around AI, and it's not. It is an actual animation studio that had the idea of using AI in the way that we were just talking about as supplements and tools to help their artists. So the animation studio is still making anime. They still have animators that are animating the illustrations made by their illustrators. They just have an AI that is also making its own anime.
I mean, that's like the gray area though, because like, are they going to just get rid of their artists at some point and just use AI because it's cheaper? Like,
Well, I guess that is a big question. Is AI cheaper? Because artists, specifically in Japan and Korea, they are paid well, but they actually pay their foreign subcontractors way better. Oh,
right, of course.
somebody who does it 9 to 5 doesn't make as much money as somebody who gets paid on the outside because of the law restrictions. They're allowed to pay their artists less.
Right.
And I mean, that was a big issue with Mappa Studios a few years back. Mappa Studios, they were overworking their artists and underpaying them, and it led to one of the largest anime strikes that we've ever seen.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, so,
Yep.
so I mean, like, yeah, supplementally and as tools, sure, but I think like there's lacking of regulations, specifically like regulations on like what can and can't be created from AI, who should have access to it. Like I really don't think that like AI should have been open to the public. I think it's a huge misuse and a waste of resources.
I can get
Because I
behind
mean,
that.
like,
I think for
'cause I
me,
mean,
it would have to depend on the type of AI for the general public.
right? Because I mean, right now it's people are creating shorts and videos and just dumb stuff that like doesn't even need to be created,
Right.
and that's just
I can't confirm this. Like, I don't have any actual data that supports it or research that supports it. But my belief with why AI art models were released how they were, and when I say art models, I'm encompassing everything. The AIs out there that create actual art pieces, AI out there that creates music, anything artistic, visual, or audio. those AI models, I believe, were released to the public to train them. I think that these several years now that AI has been released to the public has been on the construct of teaching all of these AI models so that they can improve it quicker. Because, I mean, even drug market, right? Like pharmaceuticals, when they want to do a case study on a subject, they don't just leave it behind closed doors and test it on 30 people. They pay a bunch of people in free lunches and PayPal gift cards to come to a studio, and they might have 1,000 people in there, and they give those 1,000 people the drug, and then they see what happens. Right? I think it's the same concept here with AI. AI was released to the millions so that millions of people could use it and abuse it, and that abuse and use turns into training for the AI model.
Right. But it also comes with like it's going to encompass morality at some point to where like the users
Absolutely.
are dictating what is and is not morally correct. Which I mean, like, if you take a large mass of people, they're all going to have different perspectives on morality, and they're all going to do different things with that. So I mean, like, you're really questioning like your test sample at that point. You know, like instead of having like testers that stick to like what they want their AI to be like, it's just open to anybody.
Yeah. That's one thing that I don't know if the AI developers, specifically of ChatGPT, I don't know if they ever saw that coming, that ChatGPT would be used in its earlier stages to develop its own AI platforms. And there has been hundreds of AI platforms and AI programs built now off of ChatGPT doing its own coding for these AI programs, because ChatGPT, whether we like to think so or no, it knows its own weaknesses. And so with it also being a coding platform, it knows how to code its own weaknesses out.
Yeah.
And one
And
of
that's
those
the other thing.
things, one of the very first programs that ChatGPT developed by itself was an AI program that was linked to the current web, because AI or ChatGPT, when it first released, its databanks were shut off to 2021. It could not know anything that happened after 2021. It was just kind of deadlocked in there.
I mean, like at some point, AI is going to be sentient in a sense. Like it's going to know how to evade being shut off or evade being deleted.
Yeah, I think that's
And
a
I don't
huge fear for a lot of people. The whole Will Smith I Robot thing.
see, and I'm not afraid of that. I would love that dystopian future because like right now we have like the idiocracy into the world times.
Yeah.
Like I swear to God, like people get dumber and dumber, and AI didn't help. That was actually my hope for AI. I was like, oh, okay, people are going to use this for research and technical advancements, and like people are just going to like get to that next evolutionary step in intelligence. It has
Yeah.
not done that, and I'm very
I was
sad.
on that same route. I was all for AI when AI first started being launched and introduced. I really thought that it was a good platform. Like, I'm all about technology. As much as I am an artist, I'm still about technology and technology moving forward. But
Right.
it seems like the longer that AI is around, the more damage it's doing, especially in spaces like how we are both VTubers, right? There are AI models out there now that can draw and slice PNGs, meaning that the only thing that somebody has to do is either purchase the services of a rigger or learn how to rig themselves. And then they have a monopolized full circuit without any talent VTuber selling market. They can go on to VGen, who has a strict policy against AI, but with how good AI has been now, it's really hard to discern at times. Or they could set up a booth in Fiverr. You know, it's getting wild now. It really is. But to turn this back towards anime, because we jumped from anime to AI really quick, then that might have been my fault with the whole AI anime that was being produced. Again, that anime is called, let me pull it up again. It's called Twins Hinahima. I think I called it something different earlier, but the actual name is Twins Hinahima. But I want to get into Sharpie's hot takes in anime. Like, what's something that you have an opinion on in anime that maybe you've shared with other people, maybe you haven't, but it's something that can start an argument?
Oh man, I don't know if I have an argument starter for anime. I mean,
No?
I don't.
Oh, come on. You got to have some strong opinion on anime somewhere.
I mean, what would be like? Tell me yours, and I'll devise from there.
So my anime hot take, and I have lots of them, but the one that I stick to, and it's a hill that I'll die on, is One Piece is not good. One Piece is low tier mid, and it's more of a cartoon than it is an anime.
I mean,
And I know there are tons. I mean, it's one of the highest grossing franchises out there, right? There's tons
right.
of people that love it. It will always be loved. And it's Japanese, so it's an anime, but it's more of a cartoon. And the man who wrote One Piece, Oda, he even said himself that he modeled things after the Looney Tunes. So it's an anime only because it's Japanese. If Oda would have been in America, One Piece would be a cartoon.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong, to be honest. I never really jumped on the One Piece bandwagon.
I tried.
I watched the live series, and I thought the live series was done really well.
Oh, I think so too. I think the live series is really good, and it's going to be the only way that I consume One Piece. It really is.
See, that's the other part is One Piece is like I think it's way too long. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
one
Episodes.
season with 1,200 episodes. That's season one. Just so you know, season
Yeah,
one is 1,200 episodes long. It is the
yeah,
longest running animated series.
yeah, we're talking over 1,150 episodes in total. Like that is I can't go back and watch that. Like I'll never have time to just go back and watch all of One Piece. Like, and I think that's why I never started it is because like by the time I would have gotten into it, it was too late.
I tried. I tried really hard. I tried in 2024. I sat down, made it through 200 episodes, never got hooked. I tried again last year. I made it to episode, I think like 460 or 470, something like that. Still not hooked. I still don't see the appeal. The illustration style isn't there for me. Everybody's like stick characters with more features, and
Yeah.
the sound profile, I'm not into. It's very childish. It's very, like Oda said, Looney Tune. I've been going on this clip journey. This is something that you know, and I decided to throw some little bits of One Piece, specifically a Zoro fight, into the one that I produced for yesterday. And I was watching this episode. I had never seen this episode. I never watched the arc leading up to this. But Zoro has on these gigantic space boot looking things, and Luffy was this cloud like entity floating around and giggling like that sun from the Teletubbies, right? And
Right.
the whole time I'm watching all of these fights, Zoro's fight felt the most grounded. It had good sound effects, swords clashing, lots of movement everywhere. But then I was watching Luffy fight this other guy that could like throw balls of light and clone himself. And the whole time that Luffy's fighting, it's all of the sounds that we heard from the Looney Tunes. Like when Bugs Bunny's running really fast and you hear the whoop 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 whoop. It was that sound while Luffy's running through the air, and then him laughing and his eyeballs popping out. Where in those old cartoons, the eyeballs would pop out and then like more eyeballs would spawn off of them and more and more and more and more and more. And it was just like this isn't anime. This is a cartoon.
Okay. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. From the perspective of like sound effects and the animation style, it is definitely more cartoon like almost like a Cartoon Network series, I would say.
Yeah, definitely like Cartoon Network and Adult. Well, I don't even know if it would be Adult Swim because there's nothing fan
Adult.
servicey, I don't think, and I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but as far as
I
I'm
don't.
aware, there's nothing that's like fan service in it.
Yeah, no. It's definitely not like a high school D&D, like for sure. Like that one's full.
Oh my gosh, high school D&D.
That is a full fan service.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm gonna play a small clip for you real quick so you can see this. And on the podcast, I'll play some of these sound effects in a space here for you guys so that you guys can hear what I'm showing Sharpie. I'm just gonna show him real quick what I'm talking about with this Luffy fight.
I don't know which one's real.
The other thing that was throwing me off with One Piece also is all of these boots that Zoro and the rest of everybody's wearing, they all make squeaky sounds when they walk. It's so distracting in the show. Like the show has lackluster animation. And well, I'm not going to say animation because the animating parts they do really well on, but lackluster illustration mixed with really wacky toony sounds. And I mean, whenever people go into like the power force, whenever they're comparing power scales between two different anime, a lot of times they always refer to One Piece as having Toon Force power, which is the power of the Looney Tunes. And I just screenshot that directly from the anime on Crunchyroll and sent it to you. Like, look at how Luffy's even got a little fart going on, and this is supposed to be an eccentric fight. I don't know.
It's definitely more Looney Tune.
That's my anime hot take. One Piece is for ages 2 to 10, and it's low mid tier trash anime.
Okay. All right. Well, I got mine then, I guess.
All right, let's hear it, Sharpie. Hit us with your hottest anime hot take.
I have not been able to finish Full Metal Alchemist. I can't do it.
Oh no.
I cannot do it.
Oh, okay. Where are you at? Are you in Brotherhood?
No, I didn't even make it that far. Okay, I don't think I made it that far. I made it to the alchemist that turns his daughter into a dog.
Oh yeah, that is Brotherhood. That's Brotherhood.
And it was so sad. Like the show is so sad. It's not that it's not good. Like I think it's great, but it's so sad that I have not been able to finish it. I was just like I was dumbfounded by how dark and sad it got. I was just like and I've been fine with like Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, like whatever. But this is just so like emotionally gut wrenching that I have not been able to go back and like continue it. I'm just like, how much darker can it get? Like, do I actually want to know?
I will tell you that is as dark as Full Metal Alchemist gets. That never happens. Another girl is never chimerid. I will tell you that. Another girl is never chimerid. But yeah, that was a trip. And that meme is used throughout everything. We were talking about morals earlier with AI. That was humans that made that, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so AI is learning directly from humans. So I mean,
That's true. It was, and now it's learning from itself. And that's scary.
But I mean, I feel like it's still probably learning from both. I would say it's probably advanced enough to learn from itself, but it's probably still intaking human opinions and prompts and deciphering that.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and other things that have arrived. My anime hot take is One Piece is low mid garbage. And Sharpie's hot take is that Full Metal Alchemist is just too sad to finish watching. If you want to argue and debate these facts, pop up in the Twitch lives anytime that you see us live. Come to the Discord. We are available to debate it. I will argue with anybody all day long. Sharpie might not though. He might just
I
yell
don't
at you
think.
and tell you to stop talking.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue with me. I mean, mine's pretty. Mine's pretty factual.
Yeah. Yours is. It was sad. Full Metal is still a fantastic. It's definitely in the mid runners for me in anime. It has good
Yeah.
animation. The live action for it though was garbage.
I will force myself to go back and finish it at some point, but I mean, I'm already sitting on like I want to say like 2 years of not going back and finishing it, so maybe I won't. I don't know.
Maybe you won't. It was good. It has a good ending. There's lots of good Full Metal stuff out there. I
Like I
mean,
said, I thought it was great.
their story in total, if you like a tragic story that
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
really
all
have
sad.
any bright sides, that's a good one to watch.
See, and I was fine with like the brother being transmuted into a robot, the other brother losing his arm, like that stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool, whatever, I get it. But like, it just kept getting deeper and deeper, and I was like, all right, this is gonna give me clinical depression, so I'm just gonna stop right here.
That makes sense. That makes sense. The oh, what is the anime about the kids in the orphanage? It's a horrible but awesome horror anime.
I don't know.
Oh goodness, let me get the Crunchyroll back up. You want to talk about something depressing, horrible, and if you like blood and gore type horror, it's a good one.
You know, I have a weird relationship with like gore. Like, so like I used to work in a hospital. I used to be a phlebotomist. I've actually cut somebody's thumb off during a surgery with a surgeon who was guiding me, I guess you could say. Um, and I've never had a problem, but then like certain movie gore actually makes me queasy, like the Green Inferno. Totally not anime related, but
Oh yeah.
that movie made me nauseous. And like I don't get nauseous in real life. Like I've seen car accidents where people's brain matter coming out of their skull and things like that. Like I'm fine in real life, but for some reason certain like effect visuals will make me queasy. It's the weirdest thing.
I was the same way with Smile. Smile is still to this day the only horror movie I've ever seen that bothered me. I've watched, it used to be a hobby of mine where every weekend on Saturdays I'd wake up and do nothing but watch horror movies the whole day. And I never saw a horror movie, whether it be a spiritual horror movie or a gore horror movie or like a classic 80s and 90s chase down horror movie, right? Never had a movie that bothered me until I watched Smile. And it bothered me so much that I will not watch Smile 2.
Yeah, I won't even talk about the one that bothered me because I don't want people to watch it. Like I want people to forget about it.
Yeah. I was kind of
But
that
like
way with Dybbuk Box. I won't ever suggest anybody watch that movie because I definitely like if you're a spiritual person, that's definitely the type of movie that is going to get your spirit attacked. But that is a hardcore movie. It didn't bother me in the sense of like gut feelings, that sort of stuff, but that was a wild movie.
I think I've only had one movie that like psychologically disturbed me, and I was just like, this is the most disgusting and horrifying thing I think I've ever watched in my life. And I don't even like to like talk about it. Like I see people post about it sometimes that I've never seen it. It's older, so like I think it's dying out finally. But yeah, it was just gross.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Sharpie does not recommend you watch Green Hill. All right. We've been going for about 33 minutes. We can take a quick pause. I need to use the restroom.
Okay.
Horrible.
I'm usually really chill. I swear to God, like I hardly ever get like mad, but like with my ears, I've been such a cunt to so
I
many
was a
people.
first-hand
Like,
experiencer of that.
yeah. I mean, well, my wife was like the first one to like get it. Like I was being a dick to my wife, and like I was like, this is not who I am. What the fuck is wrong with me?
And just taking
I'm a-
ear pain out on everybody.
and I didn't mean to. It was just like it's like a fucking trapped wolf just gnawing its own fucking leg off and trying to rip anybody apart that gets close to it. It was fucking
Yeah.
awful.
There's so many animals that will do that. You know, young
Yeah.
puppies do it too. Like
Yeah.
freshborn puppies, even before their eyes are fully opened and cured or whatever it's called, there's puppies that will chew their arms off. My little sister's dog, or the middle sister, her dog, who's a weenie dog, chewed her own arm off.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, it makes sense though. And if you're trapped, you're gonna, it's like the Saw fucking movie with the fucking bone saw and chained
Oh,
saw your
yeah.
leg off, or you're gonna stay here and die. I mean, yeah, it makes sense,
Yeah, when I watched that Saw movie, that scene where the skinny black lady and the fat white guy were pitted against each other, and one of them had their objective was to cut parts of their body off to stop the screws from going into their head, and that lady ended up winning by cutting her arm off. That was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, those movies are crazy.
So let's talk all things FromSoft, Soulsborne series, and Souls likes now. There's a lot that I want to get into with this, and with us both being Souls guys, I think we have the perfect platform to do this. I mean, the amount of Souls likes that come out today, and if Souls are dying now and it's all just being left up to the Souls likes, there's a lot there, especially with Duskbloods coming out too. Duskbloods, which is kind of like the Bloodborne 2, but it's coming out on Switch. I don't
See, I
know.
don't even care about that game because I don't have a Switch.
It might be the reason why I get a Switch.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it back and forth. I might get a Switch 2 just for Duskbloods and then play it on stream with a capture card.
Yeah.
Because it does look good. It looks so wild and so different compared to everything else in the Souls series, but at the same time, it still feels very Souls. It kind of feels like a mixture of Bloodborne and Castlevania.
Yeah.
But how do you feel with Souls games right now? Like specifically FromSoft, the Souls series. That's including everything from the Demon Souls through Bloodborne up to Elden Ring. Do you think that it's going to keep going, or do you think that Duskborn or Duskbloods is moving into the new era of these Souls games?
I feel like they're probably going to move into a new direction with Duskbloods. I mean, I would have to play it to like really form like an actual thought out response to that. But like in my opinion, I don't know if they can really one up Elden Ring, in my opinion.
So you think that Elden Ring was the peak of Souls?
I think so. Like unless the new direction with Duskbloods like outdoes that in some way, but I don't even know how. I mean, they gave Elden Ring everything you could really ask for, like aside from the sprint that they added in Night Rain. Like if they gave me the sprint that's in Night Rain and Elden Ring, I mean, I would have no complaints, which
I
is
agree
crazy.
with that. I think the Elden Ring is the peak of the Soul series. It's by far not the hardest. It's not the most difficult, but it has elements that could have been so much better for all the other games. It has the open world. It has all the different territories, and each different area or territory in Elden Ring feels like a whole nother world. When you go
Yeah.
from Limfeld into Caelid, and you go from green grass and waterfalls and beautiful ponds to this very end of the world looking red skies, burnt ground, desert, red clay everywhere. It's wild. I mean, and when we move up to Luernia Lake, oh man, I just butchered the pronunciation of that.
You did.
But
That's
when we
fine.
go to the lake and everything's like this beautiful dusk and blues everywhere, it's crazy. Aesthetically, Elden Ring is by far the peak.
Yeah.
The boss designs, animations, the lore behind everything, it really is. It's top of the class. And I agree.
And I mean,
I don't know if they can really go anywhere from that.
and I mean, they even gave you like multiple endings. You know what I mean? Like you got, was it 3 different endings?
Oh, there's a ton. If we don't count the DLC, you have
Okay,
the regular ending where you burn Melina and you become the Elden Lord of your own accord, right? You don't take the use of any demigod with you. There is the quote unquote good ending where you go to the sunflower guy. I can't think of what his name is, right? You go to the sunflower guy and you end with him and you make the world all peaceful. There's Ronnie's ending, which I think has been the ending that I've used the most just because I'm a
good.
Giga Chad for Ronnie.
Yeah, well, yeah, who's not? I mean, like
I'm a Ronnie
realistically.
simp, move over Blade. That's my woman.
Yep.
And then you have the evil ending, which it does kind of go 1-1 for me on how many times I've done these endings, but I think that the Frenzied Flame ending and Ronnie's ending are too close for me to say which one is really the one that I've done the most. I like well, I'll put it this way. My main character is on New Game 32 and the world is Frenzied Flame.
That's so ridiculous.
So
That's so
Frenzied
ridiculous.
Flame might be my favorite.
See, and I haven't done that one. I did Ronnie's, and I think I did the regular, and I think I was working on Frenzied Flame, and I think Night Rain released, and I was like, oh, I'm jumping in this.
Frenzied Flame is either the easiest or the hardest. For me, I think it's the easiest one to achieve. Well, I mean, if we don't count the base ending, right, where we just go and burn Melina in the cauldron.
Right. Yeah.
It's the easiest because all you have to do to do it, and I might be forgetting a few steps here. I mean, I've done the game too many times, so I might be skipping over a couple steps. But you just fall down into the basement where the 3 fingers are, and you go through the 3 fingers door and accept the frenzied flame. And then you yourself, when you enter the tree, you set the tree on fire with your own frenzied flame, and then you kill Radagon and the Elden Beast. And you set the world ablaze in frenzied flame.
Okay.
Well, that's it. There's not all of the other requirements like the sunflower guy or Ronnie, which Ronnie's quest line by itself, I think, might be one of the best quest lines in all of Elden Ring. Having to delve down into the Nokron and you're fighting Blade down there, or not Blade, sorry, Blythe. You fight Blythe, and you find Ronnie, who ended up killing the boss from Dark Souls 2. He was in Dark Souls 2. He was also in the game before the Souls games. He was in Bloodborne, and he was in Elden Ring, but we only got to see his carcass in Elden Ring. And that's the dude that carries the Moonveil blade, or not Moonveil, the Moon Knight blade.
Dude, when I went to Nokron, I was so impressed with like the way they did it.
Oh yeah, me too. The Nokron, the very first time that I saw that meteor crash, it blew my mind.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean that just opened up a whole nother world within the world from a meteor? Like, are you serious? Like, I can go down here without dying?
Yeah. I've got to get this guy's name because this is going to bother me. I do
Cool.
every time I get to talking about a subject, even if it's a subject that I have like more hours than a normal human being should ever have for anything, I always end up forgetting the names of things. But I just watched a video with him in it yesterday, so I'm going to go and find that video real quick so that I can say his name and feel okay with life. Oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to find it.
Are you talking about
The
in
Moonblade guy. The Dark Moonblade guy.
Wasn't it Baleful Shadow?
No.
No.
No, this is the dude that's like half horse.
Oh yes. Oh my. I don't know.
And I
Can't
think
remember either.
I think he was Dark Souls 2. I think Dark Souls 2 was the very first time that we saw him. But then he ended up being like the Easter egg for the entire series. Okay, here we go. I found the video.
What
of him
that
yesterday.
means is lower body Ludwig's designs, and I'm worried about
I'm almost
what
there.
that means. Ludwig,
Ludwig. Oh my gosh, that was gonna break my freaking brain.
Yes.
Ludwig the Accursed. We very first fight
the
him.
accursed, from
Oh, really? The very first time he shows up as Bloodborne? That's not true. That's not true. It had to have been Dark Souls 2. Ludwig's Holy Blade turns into the Moon Sword when you use the special and two-hand it. But it's the first time that he showed up. Oh, Moonlight Blade. I'm really dragging this one out.
No, you're good. I understand. I hate when I can't remember something and I know it. Like,
So the Moonlight Greatsword first appeared in Demon Souls, which is the first Souls game. But that's also, there was a game like way before the Souls games that was a FromSoft game that the Moonlight Greatsword first appeared in. But as far as the actual Souls game, it was Demon Souls in 2009. And then it came back in Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls. Oh, so it's been in every single. It has. Oh wow, yeah, it has. I didn't know that. I never found it in the first Dark Souls, so I just thought that it wasn't there. And I don't really remember Demon Souls way back in the day, and I haven't played the remake, so I thought that it was first Dark Souls 2. No, it's been around since the beginning. It is their cherished weapon that gets carried through all of them. But yeah, so we see Ludwig. I'm gonna have to cut out like 10 minutes there, but we first see Ludwig in Demon Souls, and then we see him and his sword throughout the entirety of the franchise, all the way into Elden Ring. And it is Ronnie who killed the Two Fingers and Ludwig, and you put the ring on her finger, and then you get Ludwig's Moonlight Greatsword. And that's still one of my favorite weapons. Whenever we find it in Night Rain, I am always so happy with it because you get to do some of the most damaging magical attacks without having to use mana.
yeah.
And it stands 2.5 revenants tall.
Literally. It's ridiculous. I mean, even in Elden Ring, it did great damage even in just the base game. Like,
it did, yeah. And if you were intelligence and arcane scaling in Elden Ring, it was pretty much a one shot to everything except for bosses.
yeah.
I agree with you that Elden Ring is the peak of Souls, but I think the peak controls is Night Rain.
Yeah. But like that sprint is just nice. Because like when you go back,
the whole controller layout for Night Rain is nice. I have been looking for an emulator or some type of program, some type of mod that I can use in Elden Ring to simulate Night Rain's controls.
Yeah.
because the jump is better, the roll is better, the heavy and light attack is better. Everything in Night Rain controls wise is better.
Yeah.
How many hours are you at in Night Rain now? I think I'm close to 500 or something.
593.6 hours.
Oh gosh, maybe I am at 500 then.
And I think I platinumed it like the first or second month that we were playing. Like,
Yeah, I remember when you hit platinum.
I was like, oh, I just platinumed this game. That's cool.
I don't know if I did. I'm gonna have to look.
No, I think you did. I think you just recently did.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because we killed the 3
We were
bosses
playing.
back to back, and that was the only
Yeah.
thing that I hadn't done yet.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got you done. I
Yeah,
know.
that
I was.
funny. We just happened upon the platinums. We weren't even platinum hunting. It just happened.
Yeah.
I will say for the Souls franchise, I really hope that Duskbloods is peak. I hope that it's good. I hope that it re-inspires FromSoft to continue making great games. But it is sad at this point that if it ends up being one of the best games, that it is again another exclusive game that they've produced that we can't play on other systems, just like Bloodborne was a PlayStation exclusive, and
Yeah.
they haven't officially ported it. And I think that it's important to have these games as exclusives for a certain amount of time, not exclusives indefinitely.
Right. But I mean, once something goes Nintendo, it never gets released anywhere else. Like
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at Capcom. Capcom's been stuck now forever.
like
I
Nintendo is very stingy with their releases.
Nintendo is a devourer. They suck in all of these companies and then don't ever let them go, and it drives a lot of them into the ground.
Yeah.
I think Sonic is one of the few, and Mario, those are some of the few Nintendo exclusives that are thriving. Everything else is really kind of dead. And you have a very small population that is true to Zelda and our Zelda fanboys and fangirls that keep the Zelda franchise running, but it's not doing so hot. Zelda hasn't been good for a long time. And same thing with well, really anything from Capcom. I mean, once Nintendo took over Capcom, that fighting game that they had, Soul Calibur, it just kind of died off. It just disappeared. And every time I hear about Soul Calibur now, I'm thinking that it's like 15 years old, and I look and there's a Soul Calibur game that came out like 2 years ago, and I never even heard of it.
Right.
I really hope that we aren't witnessing the fall of FromSoft, or I guess FromSoft wouldn't be dying, but specifically the Souls series. I hope that Duskbloods inspires more for the genre. I think it's okay if Elden Ring and Night Rain are the end of Souls, but we move into a new Victorian Gothic style thing, like what Bloodborne was, what Duskbloods is, and we pick up a whole new saga of games from FromSoft that is just as epic as the Souls games, but better.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
All
I
right.
am excited and hopeful for not technically FromSoft, but Lords of the Fallen 2.
Oh, Lords of the Fallen 2. Yeah, another great Souls-like. Lords of the Fallen is a great game.
It impressed me. It really did. I was surprised.
I had a lot of fun with it. I ended up doing a lot of flame mage type stuff, and Noodle and I are the ones who used to play it together quite a bit. He did all the ethereal stuff, or whatever it was called. The like purple magic that's from the other world.
Yeah, the umbral magic.
Umbral, there we go. Yeah. Oh, Noodle was on the path of being an umbral mage, and I was a pyro mage, and it was it was insane. That game is fun. There's a lot of really good Souls likes out there. And then at the same time, there's a lot that aren't. And there's some that need more recognition. I'm going to give a massive shout out to Mortal Shell. I was a alpha on Mortal Shell, and it was fantastic. Great game, great inspiration, good move sets and visuals, and the concept behind it that you're really just a soul moving between shells that are mortal is a really cool concept. You're every time you transfer between shells, you pick up a new fighting style and a new presence of a character.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
No.
Oh, I'm going to have to get you Mortal Shell. You're going to have to experience that. And it's multiplayer.
I know I've seen it.
It's a crazy game that it is
Every
100% Souls-like. It is also very hard, like a Souls game.
They're
but it's
making a
just
second one.
different. Yeah, Mortal Shell 2. They sure are.
Comes out this year.
And I am not an alpha on it. Maybe I will be. I don't know. I'll wait for an invitation. We'll see.
I'm sure you'll do fine.
Maybe. I don't know. I I left that project and played it and shared it to as many people as I could. But again, it was not a paid project that I was a part of. I was just doing testing for the project. A lot of play testing. From before there was water graphics to almost release. Really, I think it was like a week before release or something. I gave that game a good year and a half.
Do I get to build a recluse?
Magic, kind of, not really. It's way more on hand-to-hand combat and tactics.
Okay. I'm down to try it.
Like, think Wilder, Raider, and Revenant. Like the magic usage more on the style of Revenant.
Okay. I hate it when they do.
There's no Marvel riff off Hawkeyes, though. There's no Iron Eye.
There's no Iron Eye. That's terrible. It's terrible. Looks good. I am looking at it on Steam.
Is it out yet? Mortal Shell 2? What's the release date for Mortal Shell 2?
It doesn't say. It just says this year. Which I'm pretty sure Lords of the Fallen 2 is also this year, but I don't know when.
Yeah, it's just anticipated for this year. Oh, there's a beta test scheduled this year. So if beta tests are already going on, alpha's been undergoing for a long time. So yeah, guaranteed I won't be a part of the alpha.
Okay.
All right. Let us progress. Oh, now let's get more into this this good discussion of tech and AI. To keep things going, because I know that once we hit AI again, this is going into real deep conversation. Let's talk real quick on market prices in the tech industry. RAM is at an all-time high. GPUs have actually come down a little bit. GPUs were on an all-time high, and they continued to climb for, I think it was like 112 days or something. They climbed until they hit their peak, and they're steadily making their way down. But RAM, on the other hand, just keeps going up. And a lot of people are blaming the AI industry on that. And I think there might be more to it.
You think it's more than just AI for driving up RAM prices?
Yeah, 100% I do.
What are you thinking?
I think that just because everybody's hating AI right now, and AI is a massive consumer of RAM, that we can only see the AI usage, but everybody kind of forgot about Intel's graphene technology. I think that RAM prices are the way that they are right now, so that all of these companies can sell all of the stock that they have of traditional chipsets that aren't made with graphene technology and their traditional wafers, and then have enough money put back so that everybody has what they need to get everything they need to transform these companies into graphene producers instead of wafer and standard poly chipset distributors.
Yeah, I mean that could be. I know like the majority of companies are heavily investing everything into AI. Like everything from hospitals to finances to tech, like everybody is jumping on the AI train. I mean, with that, of course, you have to have data centers that support that level of power draw and processing. So I mean, there's going to be a RAM chip shortage for our standard RAMs, DRAM and and RAM, but I think it could be a combination of the two for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously AI is probably the largest consumer of RAM.
Right.
But I think the quote unquote RAM shortage and the scarce, it might be a little bit of fear mongering. And I know that that's a scary term to throw out and around today, especially because it's incredibly overused in today's society. But it is still a marketing tactic. You could have a crap ton of something, but if you make it seem like there's not very much of it left, and that all that you have left is all that there is, that's going to entice people that don't have to buy into it. And that's going to entice the people who already have it to buy more of it in case they need it down the line.
Right.
I do think that that is a big part of also what's happening, because these companies need money. They've been making RAM the traditional way, just increasing the technology behind it for years now. I mean, since the 90s. And graphene that Intel patented and developed is faster. I mean, we are talking 200 times stronger than steel. It's got a battery life. And when we talk about battery life, we're really talking about the transistor rate, right? How long a piece of metal can hold a charge. And it holds life 10 times longer than the standard chipset. And that means that it also conduces electricity at a higher rate.
Right.
When we look at the graphene technology versus our traditional stuff right now, so you can have RAM that might be able to do 9,200 megatransfers a second, while at the same time its megahertz or its speed is 7,200, right? Because I think right now we can go on Amazon and we can buy some Corsair Vengeance RAM that's 64 gigs per stick. It's got speeds of 7,200 megahertz, and its mega transfers rate though can go up to 9,200 mega transfers a second, meaning that you can overclock your RAM. Overclocking RAM has been around now. It's still early. People have been overclocking with DDR5 specifically, and in fact, I just overclocked my RAM. But graphene goes 200 times that. So 9,200 mega transfers now turn into 920 mega transfers a second, 920,000 mega transfers a second. And speeds that were 7,200 are now 720,000. Right? That's a huge and major difference. DDR5 is going to look like that slow Mac 1 computer from 1992.
Yeah.
And
The
so
graphene also uses less power consumption as well. Like
yeah, that's
power draw.
because it holds a charge for way longer. So the
Yeah.
draw is way less. I mean, that's kind of the same theory as why capacitors were invented in the first place. A
Yeah.
capacitor fills up with a little bit of energy, and then it stores more energy, and it's able to send out a constant rate of energy because it has a backlog, it has a storage of energy. And that's
Right.
kind of what graphene can do. Graphene takes in a ton of energy, and it can push out at a better and more steady rate.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's what this is. Once graphene is out and on the market, nobody's going to be buying. The major purchasers that buy traditional style RAM as we know it, being DDR5, which is still a relatively new style of RAM.
Yeah.
It's going to go out the window. All these motherboard makers aren't going to be making DDR5 compatible boards anymore. They're going to be moving to these graphene compatible boards. We're going to see gamers and tech reviewers, and I mean, Linus Tech Tips will be there before day one reviewing how awesome graphene technology is. And all of these distributors aren't going to have a way to get rid of it anymore. Now it's just going to be the people that always buy things 2 to 3 generations behind, or people that are just getting into PC building for their first time, following guides that are years old, right? That are going to be the ones buying all this old product. That's why motherboards are at an all-time low right now, because they know it's coming also, but they want to sell you the cheapest solution so that you can jump into the highest solution of buying the RAM. And once everybody has their stock down to, minimal losses when things switch to graphene, all of those big companies will be okay.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just hoping that they keep the same. I just went blank. That's terrible.
Oh no. Come back to a
Same-
Sharpie.
The same RAM format that we have on our boards. Like if I could get a
Right,
graphene
like the
that's
vertical
DDR5, yeah. Like if I could have one that just fits my board, that would be great. But like they would maximize profit for selling it for sure.
That's
otherwise
something that
people-
I'm curious about. I'm really, really curious about that. So we saw in our lifetime the evolution of storage, right?
Yeah.
Going from hard disk drives to solid state drives to NVMe, and ultimately landing on M.2 NVMe storage. And I think that's kind of where we're going with RAM. RAM for the last 30 years has just been a stick that got slapped into a motherboard that evolved into laptop RAM that sits flat on the board, right? Like you install it right up and then it folds down into the board. Oh, graphene could very well move into something that's more like how M.2 is plugged in today, where it just gets slotted in and then screwed down. Or at least the first couple of generations, a graphene RAM could look like that.
Yeah.
But I hope for the same thing, that it is a vertical and parallel to the board type thing, like how we have RAM now. Because people, it doesn't matter how fast something is, if you can shove multiple of it into your board, people are going to do it.
Yeah. Of
I'm
course.
excited for it because it's also cheaper. The introduction of graphene is going to show how available technology really is to everybody.
Or so we
But
hope.
as we transition into the AI going off of the graphene will also supplement the production and efficiency of AI. It's cheaper to run. It costs less electricity. It's much cooler. It doesn't get as hot. And which means that it'll consume less water, because most AI farms are liquid cooled. It will consume less water, which means that it has less biopollution on the environment. And I don't see where people would have issues with it anymore. The people who scream about the consumption of water that's used by AI won't have anything to scream about anymore, because it will go down to a negligible amount of water to cool an entire AI facility. But it's also going to increase the rate of knowledge for AI. This is something where we might be seeing the turn of the century and cyborgs become a real thing real quick. I mean, Elon Musk is working on that Neuralink, right? A chip
I mean,
to get plugged into your brain.
he's also working on his robots too.
That is true. He's been working on his robots for a while.
What was
I
he
will
calling
say,
them?
in the case of technology, and maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. I am for the advancement of AI.
I already told you I don't want to go out on the Idiocracy timeline. I would rather go out on the iRobot timeline,
Yeah, I would rather go out on floor 76 of Aincrad, stuck inside a virtual world, than go out because of World War III.
I mean, I feel like we'll probably get more of a Matrix style going on.
Oh man, that would be horrible. Wait. Matrix plugged into the world, or the realization that the world doesn't exist anymore, and now we're fighting giant flying robots.
I mean, probably the latter. I would,
That
I
would
mean,
be a hard world, but hey, I'm a man for fantasy worlds, so I'd find a sword. I would
I'd
take
find
some
a
robots
sword.
down with me.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, like, I think by the time like we realized it, it would be that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But again,
I'm for the advancement of technology. And if AI is what helps advance our world and push our world further into like the diamond age, or whatever the next age is called. I don't know. We had the bronze age and the copper age and the iron age, whatever is next. Whatever, we went through the space age, right?
yeah.
Whatever can push us into the future. Give me my ships from Star Citizen in the real world and a VR headset to get me trapped in Sword Art Online. I'm for that.
Trapped in Sword Art Online is crazy. That's
But
wild.
I am not for AI smashing anime studios, for getting rid of the manga industry, for taking the job of vegan artists, right? I'm not for that. Okay. And
Yeah.
anybody who comes in here and clips out the one small segment of me talking about the advancement, I'm all for it. I'm all for the advancement of AI. I'm not for the advancement of stealing artists' jobs, right?
Yeah. But that just goes
But
back to like where there needs to be regulations, right?
one of the most popular artists on Spotify right now is an AI artist.
That's really sad, actually.
It is. Let me get their name for you. Yeah, it's called Avon This. And
See, and
the
that's
Avon This, The Velvet Shutdown, and Breaking Rust. Avon This has 1 million listeners monthly. The Velvet
that's
Shutdown has 1.4 million monthly. And
that's
Breaking
crazy.
Rust has 2.5 million listeners monthly. And the majority of these people listening do not know that they're AI bands.
Yeah. I mean, how would they know?
That is how creepily good at simulating music AI has become.
See, and that's like the other thing that bothers me is like people have AI and they still can't research or find the answer or the truth to things. Like you have all the tools you need to possibly, I mean, without like the mega world questions like world hunger or water shortages yet. Like
Oh, but
you could
AI have
find.
answered those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But nobody that like is looking for those answers or is complaining about those things is going to use AI to find the answer to those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like a double-edged sword. Like they don't trust it, they don't like it, they think it's bad for the planet, they're not going to use it. But on the flip side, like if they used it, they would actually potentially unlock parts of their brain to come up with the answers,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Which is how it should be used. It shouldn't be used to make like art or music or trivial things like that. And I call it trivial on the side of tech creating it, not for people creating it. I think those are great things for people to create, and it takes geniuses to come up with productions. I mean, I've produced a track that won an award like for EDM. So like I know the work that it takes and I know how much knowledge it takes. But for AI to do it, it takes away from that accomplishment
Yeah,
and it
it
makes
does
it
seem
trivial.
trivial
because-
to have something that's technology bound to be creating entertainment when we could be using it to further society.
Yeah, we should be using it to fix the world, not make anime.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Use the robots to fight the other robots in the world and fix the structure and foundations of our societies rather than just be a goofy entertainment outlet.
Yeah. Like it really should have been AI really should have been regulated to like tech industries using it, advancements as for research, medical, not just, oh, I want to make a video where a bear is chasing me through the forest and I'm holding a Slim Jim. Like, no, no.
I do have
That
to say those Sasquatch videos on TikTok, those AI made ones, they are funny. They are awesome.
they are funny, yeah. But again, like it takes so much resources from the data center to actually make that video. Like it's just not worth it. Like I can't justify entertainment by AI.
That's true. I do have to say one thing to the water people out there, and no, I'm not getting political. I'm not getting political, but when you watch a 30-minute AI put together mini movie, like a short movie, right? That equates to 1 gallon of water used.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever wondered how much water I drink on a stream? I'll put it this way. You guys see me take 2 BRBs an hour. That's because I gotta go dehydrate, right? Because I drink in an average stream being 3 hours. Okay. I've consumed like 1.5 gallons, almost 2 gallons of water in that 2.5 to 3 hour stream. So my water consumption and the consumption of water going to AI is pretty equal. Pretty equal. But I think that people often forget to look at the human element of things when they just want to argue about technology.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, like, I know I had somebody bring this up, and I usually don't get into things like that on social media, but they were talking about this, and I was like, okay, well, how many subscriptions do you have to TV series? You know, like, what do you got? Hulu, Disney, Netflix,
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll? Like, how many do you have? And they're like, oh, I have this many. And I'm like, okay, well, every one of those is a data center that uses water and pollution,
Yeah.
heat exchange. Okay, how many music services do you have? Oh, I use YouTube, Spotify. Okay, yeah, every one of those is the same exact thing.
Yep. A data center that uses natural resources.
Yeah, like everything, realistically, everything is run by a data center. I mean, I manage servers that are in data centers.
Yep.
Like that's what I do for a job.
It's
Like,
always wild to me whenever we look at the history of people who have complained about technology and its resources on the world. And
yeah,
like I won't go too far into it, but it's not political. The global warming thing. Global warming has been a front for years, just so that the scientists can get other things through. But the trade-off is always we'll have to negotiate that the global warming is taken out of your effect, and then they'll be like, okay, cool. It's like you create an offer to somebody, but the headline of the offer is something that you know that they'll hate, so that you can get what you really want by the negotiations, right? Like you never go and buy a used car that's listed at 20 grand and hand them 20 grand. No, you try to get it for 15, right? It's the same concept with the global warming thing. And to put that to theory, or to put the theory to test, I in the middle of a biology lecture, I argued that it wasn't real, that global warming's not real, and that it was a front. And the professor wanted to challenge me on it. So we did a thing, right? He brought from home a big fish tank. Okay. and I filled the fish tank with sacks of Quikrete to simulate the crust and mantle, or to simulate the mantle of the earth, right? And then I adhered a bunch of Oklahoma red clay to the concrete, and then put dirt on top of the clay to simulate the crust. And then we put buildings, little plastic buildings and houses, and stuck some trees in the dirt and everything, right? And then on the other side of the fish tank, I filled it with water. Okay. And then I put in a giant freeze mold of something to simulate a glacier, right? And it did float. There was 10% of it that stuck above the water, and the other 90% of it was below the water line. And we left it sitting. We had it marked, and we marked it every day. It took that giant ice thing like 2.5 days to fully melt, the glacier to fully melt. The water level did not rise or lower, and we kept it as a closed environment to simulate the atmosphere, right? The tank was completely sealed. There was perspiration that ended up growing up the sides and on the top, and the water levels movement was so minimal that it could not be calculated effectively, because we had to account for all of the moisture that was locked in the chamber with it.
Right.
Global warming's not really a major thing. Like, is it happening? It could be. Are we getting closer to the sun? Maybe. Are we getting further away from the sun? That is more likely to happen than us going so close to the sun that we just fry and our atmosphere is gone. But it's also more likely that an asteroid bigger than the moon slams into the earth before thousands of generations have passed on the earth and we've burnt up the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So us creating technology and using natural sources to fuel the technology is not hurting the world so bad that our kids or our kids or their times 1,000 generation below them are going to see the effects of anything, because you're also forgetting the advancement of technology. Eventually, technology will reach a point to where it becomes so self-sustained that the world could overgrow.
Yeah. I mean, like my opinion for like the water usage is a little bit different, because I'm like, you literally have golf courses in the desert. Do you know how much water that wastes
Yeah, that's so true. That's
for people
so
to go
true.
golf? Just to golf. Like there's no real benefit to golf courses at all. Like
Pleasantries and
dumping.
entertainment.
Yeah. See, like there's no reason to even, like, if you're gonna complain about water usage, yeah, golf courses. That makes sense.
Golf courses in the desert.
Yeah. Like just not, I don't get it.
I mean, we're all just little dudes on the earth that enjoy different things. I don't think that things are going to happen that are going to tear the planet apart. There's more likely to be other things that happen to destroy the world rather than AI and entertainment. But
Yeah.
speaking of those little guys, Sharpie, you and I are just two little guys in the entertainment industry as streamers and podcasters that are trying to make it. What is something that drove you to wanting to become a content creator?
Honestly, like I said, I've produced music. I used to DJ. I've always kind of liked entertaining people in that sense. Um, and then like I started like noticing streamers, and I was like, why don't I stream? It's kind of something that's been in my back of my mind that I've always wanted to do, because I've always been a gamer, you know. Um, ever since I was like 2 years old, I've been a gamer. So I'm like, why don't I stream? Like, I could totally do that. So then I
that kinda
started.
seems like a natural progression for you.
Yeah. So like I literally started like watching other streamers and trying to figure out what they do, how they do it, how they grow. And then that's how we met. I popped in on your stream on TikTok. I'm pretty sure it was TikTok.
No, it was the other
And we
way.
just
I think I popped into yours.
Did you pop into mine?
I think I popped into yours. Yeah.
Oh, maybe you did. Yeah, but anyway, I digress. Either way, we
History
just started
books.
talking about it, and then here we are, like what, like a year later,
Yeah.
and we talk all the time, we game all the time. Now we podcast together. So I mean, I personally think it's a great way to meet people, build relationships with people, further develop yourself,
And entertain.
and entertain. Yes, and entertain.
I think that's I can mimic a lot of that. I grew up gaming. I also started gaming when I was 2 years old. My dad had bought, and it was for himself. It wasn't for me, but he bought a Super Nintendo back in 1992 before I was born. And then when I was like 2 years old, he had bought this Lion King game for that Super Nintendo, and I loved it as a little 2 year old kid. Do I have any memory of it? Absolutely not. But I have the stories from my parents, and some of the earliest memories that I have, and one of the earliest ones, my 5th birthday. There was this big cardboard box on the table. I don't remember if it had wrapping paper or not. I just remember the cardboard box. And I opened up this cardboard box, and inside was a Nintendo 64 and a copy of Star Fox. And I would sit in my little room and play the ever living crap out of Star Fox. I loved it. And I went from a Nintendo 64 to a GameCube. I went from GameCube to the original Xbox with a copy of Halo. And that is really where I think my gamer career kicked in, was Halo. I loved
yeah.
Halo. I played the crap out of Halo 2. I got big into Halo 2 online. And then Halo 3 released, the Xbox 360, and my life changed forever. In Halo 3, I got competitive. My parents at first were freaked out and wouldn't let me have the headset. I mean, I was young. They wouldn't let me have the headset so I could talk to the people online because we were always screaming at each other, right?
Yeah.
But I was good. I was really good at Halo. Ended up playing a few digital tournaments. I stayed the night at a friend's house for a weekend, and his parents drove us to a tournament, and we played in that tournament, and things went from there. I became a competitive Halo 3 player. I got really into doing the Forge and building parkour maps, and I had several maps that went to the highest ratings for Forge, and I ended up winning tons, and I mean tons, of Microsoft bucks. And I don't know if you guys remember those or not, but it was the Microsoft points that you used to use in the Xbox Live store to purchase DLCs and all sorts of things for games. I ended up buying every DLC for Oblivion and Skyrim through the Microsoft points that I made on my Forge maps.
So you started on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Were you a
That's
Genesis?
I was the 1985 release of NES.
Oh man.
And I actually still have it. I found it in a box, and I even
Oh,
have some of the games. I still have it.
that's so sick. I still have my original Super Nintendo. Well, it was my dad's, but it's mine now. I still have it and the original copy of Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. I think I have Super Mario Brothers. I have a gold Zelda, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
There's
like
like
the
8
gold
games in
card.
there. Yeah.
That's so awesome. My little
Yeah.
sisters had our Nintendo 64. It had the red card version of Glover, Gex, and it was either green or yellow card of Diddy Kong Island or Donkey Kong Island.
Yes. All great. Those are all great.
And I don't know where it's at, but I also have my GameCube memory cards, and one of those memory cards has all of my chows from Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh my god.
I cared for those things. I think that was my first experience with being a parent, was caring for those chows, turning some of them evil, turning some of them good, keeping some of them neutral, and just doing the races with them in the chow garden.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe that I still had that just in a box. Like I was kind of dumbfounded, and I plugged it in, but it there's something wrong with it. The power light just blinks. So
Yeah. Well, that was what I completely forgot the entire question I asked you. We just went to rambling, but that's ultimately what led to me wanting to be a content creator. I thought about it for years, and when YouTube first came out, I made YouTube videos on Halo 2 and Halo 3, and I was a kid. I was little at the time. And yeah, it kind of went from there. There was a game that released by Ubisoft called For Honor, and I started playing For Honor competitively, and that and a whole bunch of other side stories that we will save for other segments at other times led to somebody in my life pushing me to become a streamer, and I did it. I sat down one day when I had nothing better to do in life and started the Inferno, and things just kind of went from there. This has evolved into a passion of mine, and to be honest, there's nothing else in life that I would rather do for like my day to day than be a content creator.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense because I mean, you're gonna game either way, right?
Yeah, I mean, my gaming this week though has been horrible. I've played Marvel Rivals for stream the one day, and that was it. My days have just been wrapped up in this road to becoming an editor and popping out these edits every day.
I mean, you're good at it though. They're coming out great.
I appreciate that. I'm trying really hard. We'll see on day 30. On day 30, I think I'm going to do 2 edits. This is an idea that I came up with just so that I can see my own progression. My first edit is going to be like a 60-second long edit of all of my edits leading up to the last edit being the day 30. And I don't know where I'm going to go. I've burnt through so many anime already at this point, and I keep thinking that I've reached the peak of what my skills could do, just to be baffled by myself and do something cooler.
So it'd be like a timeline edit.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for day 30. Day 30 is going to have 2 edits. I'm going to have one timeline edit that is going to be all of the edits that I've done up to that point, all montaged together in 60 seconds. And then following that is going to be the release of my day 30 edit.
That's gonna be cool.
I think it's going to be pretty fun. I can already see just going off of watching my own edits 1,000 times to feel good about them, and then watching other people's edits. I have a very different approach to editing. My approach to editing is making something cinematic, where it seems like all the other anime edits that I watch, the approach is to make the edit impactful. Like, here's this one character, bang, 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 he did these attacks, right? Or like a character showcase where it's 1 5-second clip that they put a bunch of overlays on to stretch that 1 5-second clip into a slow, dramatic 30-second clip, right?
Right.
But I'm trying to encompass these characters with a song. I mean, for anybody that wants to know what we're talking about, you can see these clips on YouTube. You can go to YouTube/ToshinoriVT, or you can go to TikTok, and that is, I mean, I don't even know my own TikTok. I believe TikTok is also TikTok Toshinori, but you can also find it at ToshinoriVT on TikTok and Toshinori Amaterasu. And there's one edit in there that really encompasses what I'm talking about with the cinematic effect, and that's the toga edit. We are almost at 1,000 views on the toga edit, which I know for some people that's like nothing, right? They post something that instantly goes up to like 50,000 views the second that they post it, but I'm just a little guy. And that toga edit's almost at 1,000 views. And I think at this point, it might be one of the most cinematic ones that I've made. I took one 30-second clip of Toga when she has the bird and she's releasing the bird, and it's like a fantasy world that's happening in her mind. It's not actually happening. And I split that clip up and showed her past. I showed the war that she's having with herself and the heroes. And I brought it back to an emotional point of her when she realized that she didn't have to be evil. And I just I wrote that up together with Spirit Box, the song Spirit Box, because that just seemed like the song that fit Toga. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with all of these edits that I'm making. Is I'm trying to make it cinematic in a way that you can see either a bunch of different anime or a specific character that I've chosen from an anime and highlight them with a song that encompasses their character the way that I see them and help you guys see these characters how I do.
And that makes sense. I think that should probably be like your primary goal for editing like that. Like you
The
want to portray,
captivation aspect.
yeah, you want to captivate your audience and you want to portray what the character that you're captivating means to you. I think that's probably the most successful way to look at video editing in that perspective.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. So I appreciate you being on the same wavelength with me on there.
If it makes sense, I'm going to tell you it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'm just going to tell you it doesn't make sense. You know?
Oh, as we are headed in to the end of our official recording, and Sharpie, I know that you've got things to go do. You actually had things that you're supposed to do 21 minutes ago, and I hope that you're doing those in the background right now. But I want to do a quick recap. We've talked about a lot today. We talked about our anime hot takes, and we went into how AI is making animes now, and there's an official AI anime that releases this year called Twins Hinahima. We talked about the growth and development of FromSoft and where we think they're going, as well as taking a deeper dive into the tech industry with prices and AI. Really, to end it all on talking about how we became content creators and why we're doing it. What was kind of your favorite thing to talk about today?
I mean, if you're going to spotlight me like that,
I am.
Probably the AI. I think the AI was good information, and we touched on a lot of important parts from it.
I think for me it was the anime talk. I don't know. I enjoy all of it. The whole thing's my favorite. I don't know. It's just this is fun to do.
I I knew you were gonna say the anime. I just knew you were.
Do you think that my One Piece hot take is going to be agreed with, disagreed with, or a balance between the two?
The way that I've heard people talk about One Piece and follow it, I'm gonna say that people are probably gonna disagree and be very upset by it.
Well, good. I'm hoping to spark good debate from this. I definitely think that there's going to be a lot of people that share a sentiment with you in the Chimera.
Yeah.
That really, I've never thought about it that way, because when I watch anime, I watch them no matter what, unless they suck like One Piece. And I can kind of I see it. I get it, because it was a super emotional scene. And the thing was, it wasn't something that just happened in one episode over 5 minutes. Edward and Alphonse met her, and they had different scenes with her for a couple episodes.
Yeah. It was very drawn out. Like
Yeah.
they really built on that emotional tug.
Well, yeah, they created a relationship, between the brothers and the daughter. I think his name was Shindo or something like that. The scientist guy. They built up a relationship with the viewers and those characters to this little girl and her dog.
I thought it was like Edward or something.
No,
Wasn't it?
Edward's the brother missing the arm's name.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. What was this? What was the dad's name? The researcher.
I think it was Shido. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, because now it's gonna bug me. I'm gonna let you
His name
pronounce
is Show Tucker.
that. Yep.
Now, what was the Show Tucker's daughter's name?
It started with an M. Was it Oh, I don't remember. It's been too long.
Show
It's been like
Tucker's
2 years.
daughter's name was Nina Tucker.
Yep.
But maybe when Sharpie finishes the show, maybe they separate them, or maybe she dies. We will have to see. We will have to wait for Sharpie's impressions on what happens. Also, I would like to give a big shout out. Yesterday, we had two birthdays in the community yesterday. And by the time that this podcast is released, I think it'll be like a week or something from then. But a big shout out yesterday. Ounce Melia, or formerly Ounce Melia, who's now just Melia on Twitch. She celebrated her birthday, and on the 25th of this month, being tomorrow, she is re-debuting with a new model. So if you guys want to see that, if you want to check it out, by the time that this podcast comes out, she will have already debuted. But you can check her out on twitch.tv/Melia. I highly suggest everybody go and interact with her. She's an amazing artist, does a great job. And go tell her happy birthday and let her know that the Inferno sent you. Let her know that Toshi sent you. Also, we had a birthday in the Amaterasu's. Yesterday was Poppy Amaterasu's birthday. So happy birthday, Poppy Amaterasu. And yeah, we're going to kind of leave things there. Next time we come back, dear listeners, we will have a whole new board of topics to talk to you guys about, all sorts of things. We'll carry on with things, anime, gaming, industry-wise, as well as leaving some lore out there for you all. But from me, everybody, thank you for joining. I've been your host, Toshinori Amaterasu, and your co-host,
Sharpie Merker.
and we will catch you next time on the Inferno Hot Takes. Stay safe, stay healthy. Toshi out.
I walked away from the fire, let the embers face a black. The silence ever crowned another king in my place. The whispers in the dark say I was standing. Legends always higher, they reload and overcome. Cinematic shadows rising, drums beneath my skin. Every cut I ever crafted, guard discipline within. Still call me. Can't imitate the motion, but you cannot match the art. I was born inside the chaos with a metronomic heart. Choir in the distance till the skyline shake. I reclaim the edited empire, be second that I take. No more fading into background, no more playing